Hey everyone, and welcome to CWLbuilds. I'm Caleb, and today we're going to be making this super cool wizard hat. Let's get started. So to build the wizard hat, you're going to need two main materials: felt and batting. 3 loft up to 1/2 inch, which is about that thick right there. Now this felt I'll be using is this charcoal gray felt, and I have a yard of it right here. So we want to make the circle that will become the rim of the hat. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to draw just a little dot right here in the center, and that will be my center point. And I'm using this pretty crude system here of a string tied to a pen, and right now I want the diameter of this circle to be 20 inches. So here I have, between the tip of this pen and there's a knot right here, is 10 inches. So when I put the knot here and I draw around it, the diameter of that circle should be 20 inches. Now, it doesn't have to be exact, that's just what I'm going for right now. You can adjust all these to fit your head or to fit somebody else's head as you want. So here you can see mine ended up being 21 inches, which is totally fine. The string just moved a little bit on me. This definitely is not the most accurate by any means, but it works. Now this one I can just pin to this other one and use it as a template and cut out this. So now I have 2 circles here. And now we have to cut out the hole in the center and then cut a slice out of it this way. So the hole in the center should be, in mine, it'll be about 9 inches in diameter. So I mark right here at 4.5, and that mark is now the radius is 4.5, which means the diameter is 9. There we go, so now we have our inner circle. Now we can cut this out. Now I'm gonna cut slightly in so I have a seam allowance that I can sew to. There we go. Okay, so right now we have this donut shape with a slit in it. And in order to get this slope right here that we want, so that the hat slopes down, we need to cut out a slice of this so that when it goes together, like this, we get that slope. So this will be person by person, but basically what you want to do is you want to overlap here so that you get this overlap. See that? And then you want to keep on trying this on. And this part right here should fit snugly over your head and sit there without falling off and not be too tight, but also not be too loose. And once you find that right spot, you can mark it with a pen, you can mark it with a pin, you can go ahead and cut. Now we have this. Make sure that before you cut this, you should also make sure that you leave a seam allowance right here, because these are going to get sewn together. So I have my pieces separate now. I'm going to bring these together and sew right along here, leaving about a 3/4 inch seam allowance. I'll do the same to the other side, and then I'll press these seams open with the iron, and lots of steam, and flatten those down. So what I've done is I've lined up our two seams, right side to right side, line them up, and I'm gonna start pinning around these edges. I'm gonna pin all of these edges together, all lined up, and then I'm gonna sew right along the edge, all the way around the circumference of our circle. All right, so I've sewed around the edges, and now I need to flip it inside out, or right side in this case. So what I'll do is I'll go to my iron, and I'll iron this flat. And in some places I may have to open this up and clip the fabric down just to where I was sewing. And this opens it up so that it doesn't bind up and fold over on itself. Alright, so using the same shapes that I made this out of, I make the same shape here, but instead of being 21 inches in diameter, it's only 20 inches in diameter. And so the whole thing is slightly smaller so that it fits inside here. So I'll put this together, and I'll quickly sew this so that this little donut can fit inside this bigger donut. So this is before. And now this is after we have a layer of batting in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew right along here, and this is going to catch the batting down here so that it doesn't pull back up, and you'll be able to see it if it kind of bunches up here. Okay, so I'm gonna be making the cone of the hat about 22 inches long. So I'm gonna mark at 22, and then down here at 0. I'm gonna put a mark there, and then I'm gonna pivot right on this 22. There we go, mark that. From 22 to where I pivoted to. And then I can draw in this curve. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sew this top, the batting, and the bottom. I'm gonna sew these all together right here on the inside circle. And that'll keep these all together, and so that when I sew the top to it, the point of the hat, I don't have to worry about making sure that all of them are connected. I'm gonna connect these right now. All right, so my circle is sewn up here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold it in half, just like that. Then to find exactly how much we need here to sew, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. So we kind of just place it to where we need it, and then we see we have all the excess here. With my pen, I can make a mark. So I'm gonna sew from here in a straight line to the top. Okay, so I press this flat. When you're working with iron, make sure it's on lower temperature, because if it's too hot, it'll actually melt this. And we don't want to melt it, we just want to press it down. So, I'm going to turn it inside out. And for the very tip, you may have to use a pencil or the tip of your scissors if you're careful not to poke through. There you go. So this is now the bottom. Okay, so this is the bottom of the rim of the hat. We take our hat, which is right side in, and we just kind of push it through like such. I'm gonna line up this seam here with this seam of the hat. Line that up and pin that together. Now, it's gonna be a little hard to pin because you're pinning together 4 layers of fabric, with one of those layers being the batting, which is already pretty thick. So you pin that together, and then you're gonna pin all the way around the edge, lining each edge up until you pinned all the way around. So we're all pinned up. Now I can use my sewing machine and sew along the edge here, attaching the cone to the berm of the hat. So as of right now, the hat is basically done together-wise. It's put together. You could end it right here, but as of right now, the hat is a little floppy. Using the same batting, I'm gonna use it as a stuffing. Now you could use actual stuffing or actual polyfill, but since I have this already, I'm just gonna use it. I'm gonna take it, cut off a chunk, pulled apart, and use it as a stuffing. Now this stuff you can just pull apart. Kind of pull apart sideways. And now it's just stuffing. It's no longer sheets of it. And so I'll be stuffing this into my hat. So right now it is completely full of that batting. And turn it over, you can see all the batting in here. And if you just left it like this, all this batting would eventually just fall out. So we'll take this circle. This is the same circle that we cut out. And you can just place it right in there. And then using a needle and thread, you can just hand sew this to the wall. It creates this cap that keeps all the batting in. All right, so we have our little cap in there. And now right now the point of the hat is a bit pointy. So what we'll do is taking our needle and thread, we're gonna go right at this seam, and I'm just gonna pinch it together at certain spots, and it'll eventually pinch down and make that nice arch. Now we can do it again here, again there if we want. We could even do one on top here so that the very top kind of rolls up at the end. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, put them down in the comment section. I'll try to get back to them. If you build one of these yourself, I'd love to see it. Send a picture to my Instagram over at CWLbuilds, same as my channel name. Thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video.